Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to our Get Astrologic Now YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about the coming month of May and all of the astrological aspects and what to expect. And the most important thing that's going to be occurring for the month of May is going to be the Mars and Saturn opposition. You see, Mars is going to go into Taurus and Saturn's in Scorpio. And what's going to happen is around May 16th, Mars is going to come to a point where it's going to exactly oppose Saturn, and it will be around 8 degrees of Taurus, and Saturn will be 8 degrees of Scorpio. So those of you that have planets in Taurus, Scorpio, look out because it's going to be an intense month. I find that whenever Mars and Saturn conjunct and oppose, but particularly when they oppose, that there's a lot of setbacks, delays, there's anger, and lots of frustration. So you're going to notice that in the world there's going to be a lot more anger, frustration, world events, and probably terrorist anger, disputes, rebellions, all of these things that constitute displays of anger and aggression. Now, I've noticed that any time this area of Taurus becomes activated very strongly, that there's a big event. I noticed that in September 11, 2001, that when Saturn came to the point of around 16 to 20 degrees of Taurus, that this event of September 11th was activated. Then I noticed every time there was a significant planet in Scorpio or Taurus, because remember this is going to be this point of opposition, that events of this nature occurred. And I really contemplated what is going on in this area of the zodiac, and come to find out, I realized that there is Aldebaran, which is in Taurus. It is one of the royal fixed stars around this portion of the zodiac. And then exactly opposite Aldebaran, which it is the eye of the bull, the red eye of the bull, opposite is Antares. These are two fixed stars that are exactly opposite and create seasons. Antares is the heart of the Scorpion. And Antares is a very aggressive and angry, it deals with a lot of anger, but mainly it's a star of war. So when we have planets that either conjunct in Scorpio or oppose in Mars, you're going to have events that are very warlike during these times. And remember, there's the four royal fixed stars that the ancients used to depict the different seasons. So we had Aldebaran was in spring, which represents the beginning of spring. Then we have Regulus in the summer, which is in Leo. And then we have Antares that represented the fall, which is in Scorpio. And Fomulat, which is in Aquarius, which represented the winter time. So these were the stars that were seasonal, and they're the four very potent royal stars. So the fact that Aldebaran and Antares will be activated this month with Mars and Saturn will be very, very interesting, and there's going to be some pretty violent and events that cause delays, setbacks in the world. Another event to be watched will be that Mercury is going to go retrograde. And at this time, Mercury's retrograde will be in Taurus. When Mercury goes retrograde in Taurus, it will have something to do with the finances. It'll have to do with money issues. And I think, and whenever Mercury goes retrograde per year, it will always be in the same element. So it's going to be in the earth element. The first time it went retrograde, January, February, was it was in Virgo. It wasn't in Virgo, it was in Capricorn. This time it's going to be in Taurus, and then the last third time it will be in Virgo. So these are all earth signs, which represent when Mercury goes retrograde per year, it represents an issue. This is going to be around money and finances. And I think for so long we have had such low interest rates in the United States, and so many opportunities to make the economy grow, that it's going to be time that the government is going to start setting back and taking into account all the major deficits that have been ignored for so long. So you're going to see things start to change. There's going to be more fear put into the economy in terms of what's coming up with the economy, basically. So Mercury is going to turn retrograde at 19 degrees of Taurus on May 20th. So watch around that day. Be careful of travel. Be careful of forgetting your keys, being absent-minded. Mercury deals with forgetfulness. And be also very cognizant when you're trying to sign contracts or agreements. This is not particularly a good time for this, because when Mercury changes directions, it makes us change our minds. So one thing going one direction will change. But what the retrogrades are all about, particularly Mercury retrograde, is it's about to go back and review things, to really take a look at what's happening. It's not a time for beginning new projects. It's a time to review and reanalyze, reassess certain things. So this would involve your financial situation. Now, another major event that's going to be happening in the month of May is that Venus and Mercury, Venus will be in Gemini and Mercury will be in Taurus. They're in Parivartana. And Venus kind of stands alone apart from all the other planets while they're all kind of bunched up in the sign of Taurus. So as we get Venus by itself, Venus will be able to operate more clearly. But in the terms of Parivartana, it is the dispositor of these planets in Taurus. So what we find is Venus becomes all powerful. It is going to be in the nakshatra of Ardra, which represents there's going to be more storms. And this can be figuratively, that there's going to be more storms, emotional outbursts with people, and tears. Because remember, Ardra is the nakshatra, that symbol is a teardrop, and it does represent storms by the fact that Rudra, the god of storms, rules Ardra. So another biggie that's going to be happening is that Venus not only is the dispositor of this grouping of planets, which are the Sun, Mars, and when we have the new moon, which is going to really set this off, that it's dispositor of these planets. But the most important thing is that Venus is going to be in a grand cross. So Venus will be opposed Pluto. Pluto's in Sagittarius, and it's going to be squaring Uranus while Uranus is in Pisces, and Rahu and Ketu, by Ketu being in Pisces and Rahu being in Virgo. Venus is going to be at the midpoint, squaring those planets. So Venus is crucial. Venus rules relationships and our communications in our relationships. And this is the month for you to really make sure that you are having open conversation with your partner. Otherwise, things are about to go haywire and go wrong. And I have noticed that any time that Venus aspects Pluto, it can deal with issues of betrayal. So you have to be honest, you have to be clear, or there can be some major misunderstandings this month with your partner, or in any type of one-on-one relationship you may be having at this time. So I'm getting that there could be some social outbursts, rebellions, anger, possible fighting and wars around the world this month. I'm also getting it's not a good time for air travel because Mercury is going to go retrograde. The other thing is watch your relationships. Make sure that you're clear and concise and open with everyone you speak with, because this is a month there can be some major setbacks and miscommunications and misunderstandings. So with that, I'd like to close. But if you're interested in more information or you would like a reading, please go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Thank you.